What causes a fever and what happens when you have a fever? We've all phoned in ill at work or school at some point in our life, whether we like it or not. And we've all suffered from fever. But do you know what causes fever? And what occurs when we have a fever before we expose the causes? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay up to current on more high-quality information ranging from being God's manner of dealing with sinners to being a hereditary problem. We've all heard the stories about the causes of fever throughout our infancy, and many of us believed them to be true. However, as we grew older and became more rational, we realized that couldn't be the case. So why do we get fever? It all starts with our brain, the organ that governs our entire body. The hypothalamus, a portion of our brain, manages our body temperature in normal settings, keeping it at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. If you find it difficult to comprehend, consider your body to be a mechanism that runs effectively at a specific temperature, which means it cannot be too hot or too cold. There is a person sitting in the control room of that machine, and he or she is maintaining the temperature of that machine. That is exactly what the hypothalamus does to your body. Your body is constantly working even when you're resting. Your heart is pumping blood, your blood is circulating throughout your body, and your lungs are constantly inhaling and exhaling air. Your body is very busy maintaining a specific temperature during all of this work, but at times the hypothalamus, a protracted state of such a scenario may result in serious illnesses. Speaking of infections, the second point is gastroenteritis, which is one of the most serious infections of our body's most vital organs, the stomach and intestines. Usually, this problem is caused by bacterial toxins, but it can also be caused by viruses. If the infection is not treated, it can lead to diarrhea and other infections. Have you ever had an ear infection that resulted in a fever? Yes, the hypothalamus does that to us, and infections of the ear, lung, skin, throat, bladder, and kidneys are not left unchecked. In all of these scenarios, a spike in body temperature is normal, as the hypothalamus is actually trying to neutralize the infection side effects of medication. Remember the time you overdosed on painkillers because you thought the pain was too unbearable? After blood clots are formed when you are injured to prevent spills, but they can also form when they are not needed and cause strokes or even heart strokes. Yes, you guessed it, hypothalamus, our good old savior, helps us out once more with its ingenious temperature control technique. Moving on to the next point, autoimmune diseases and hormone disorders. Unlike the last case, this is more of a last resort. I was able to exert effort from the hypothalamus, or I in-house, or in this case our in-body protector, cannot do much if we have an autoimmune disease such as lupus or inflammatory bowel disease. Similarly, it cannot do much if you have hormone disorders such as hyperthyroidism, so it does the best it can, but hey, it buys you enough time for those medicines to do their work. Just make sure you don't overdose yourself. Cancer. This brings us to our final point. This infection has the potential to create serious health problems. This is the point at which your white blood cells develop a two-way defense. One group fights the infection with the body's own good bacteria, while the other goes to the brain to inform it of the recent development. The information is received, and our protagonist hypothalamus goes to work. Bacteria and viruses require a suitable temperature to survive. They cannot handle too much cold or too much heat. The hypothalamus raises the body temperature while the immune system battles off the infection's leftovers, resulting in a victory over the invaders and the saving of the day due to our hero, the hero we need but not the one we deserve, the silent guardian, our very own dark night's watchful protector. After all, fever often weakens the immune system and makes us vulnerable to various diseases, which is why we should not be completely reliant on our hero. For home remedies, one of the best options is always to sweat a lot and wipe the sweat with a towel, which regulates the body temperature, does not allow the infection to settle down, and helps the antibodies to do their work fighting the infection. So yes, depending on the severity of your fever, you will be given either light or powerful medication. In the case of any type of bacterial infection or even strep throat, antibiotics are usually prescribed. However, these medicines may have their own side effects, so a regulated dosage is often prescribed. However, in the case of children and teenagers, aspirin is avoided because it has been linked to a condition known as Reye syndrome. Similarly, other forms of fever-related medication are avoided. It is frequently advised that toddlers and teenagers be given lower doses. Many children may have an adverse reaction to antibiotics. In such cases, antibiotics should be avoided. Thus, inform your doctor before he or she prescribes medication for your child. People suffering from migraines, sinus infections, or breathing difficulties should be given lower doses of antibiotics to avoid any side effects. Well, that's all we had to say about the causes of fever. What did you think of the video? Did you find it useful? Let us know in the comments area below. We'd love to hear from you. What kind of besties are we if we don't tell you about our other fantastic videos? Choose either the left or right video and have fun.